Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Pamela Lezonde with your technology and social media news. It's SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. This week our Expo is asking you about your views on the Presidential PhD Fund. This is going to fund some tech solutions as well in the country. Results of that Expo are coming up later in the program. Here's what we have for you today in this particular episode. We have details on what took place at Rage. We tell you about how social media can have implications on your mental health, especially during the holiday season where some people might spend a lot of time on social media. We also have some of those holiday gifting ideas, especially for kids. The Rage Gaming Expo is the biggest on the African continent. This is where you find out what some of those new releases are going to be, especially in the new year, and there's a lot of competition that happens there as well. R100,000 just for playing and winning a video game shows how lucrative esports really can be. This also isn't a fantasy. It's what happened to one player at the Rage Gaming Expo in Midrand.
So the journey was obviously difficult. The top 8 in South Africa, there's some actually very good players that didn't even make it here to begin with. So obviously I'm firstly grateful for that, and to obviously win it is an accomplishment in itself.
Research body Statista says the combined value of South Africa, Egypt and Nigeria's gaming industries will be worth about 38 billion rand when this year ends. That's why Sundowns Football Club doesn't want to be left out and probably is the reason they're here at Rage as well.
Honestly, I didn't know how big this gaming was until we as Mamelodi Sundowns started it last year, and then we have seen the response, not only with the people who participated, but when we moved around the nation to see how many people are so much interested in the gaming space was really shocking, because we never knew that football was as big as it is off the field as it is in field. So it's really important for us as Mamelodi Sundowns to continue to create platforms like this so that people are able to engage and make sure that we assist the community in different ways. As we know, we are people who like to contribute towards the success of the nation.
South Africa's gaming industry is expected to grow by an average of 7.5% a year until 2023. And at Rage, it's where one properly sees how popular this form of entertainment is.
I think there's enough people and companies and interest to keep doing an event every year. I mean, if you have a look at the crowds that showed up today, it was like we ran a queue for like 2-3 hours outside. So there's a lot of interest, and I think everybody's like really energized now before December. And I think a lot of people are looking for presents for Christmas and the festive season and so on. Yeah, so it's good timing as well.
This year at Rage, there was a virtual reality arena. Some came to show off their character costumes. Some came to see what's new in the industry. Many just wanted to play video games.
Highlights of my event. The gaming. There's a lot. I saw a bed in the other hall. There's a bed there, and I'm like, are they sleeping? Are they taking a break? You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
The gaming industry definitely made me less feel like I was alone. It helped me realize that there's also other people out like me and I could enjoy myself.
A PwC report says attendance for gaming events like Rage has grown by over 200% in South Africa since the end of COVID-19 lockdowns. A lot of us spend a lot of time on social media, especially here in South Africa, as there are reports that we probably spend the most out of anybody in the rest of the world on social media, specifically TikTok. And this can have dire implications, especially during the holiday season, as some people might suffer mental health issues.
As we approach the holiday season, the South African Depression and Anxiety Group says it's important to remember that this time of the year can also bring unique challenges to many. Registered counsellor Kaylee Wood says though there is no research to back the idea that social media can increase stress, isolation, and fear of missing out during the holidays, it can amplify the feelings of loneliness.
The holiday season in general can also increase stress, it can increase depression and anxiety. And obviously, time spent scrolling on social media, so time spent on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. When I'm scrolling and I might be seeing other people enjoying their lives, I sometimes forget that social media is where people showcase their lives in a good and a positive. So what I'm seeing online might not be real. It is, as I like to call, Instagram ready. But it is something that we often have in terms of FOMO, so feelings of missing out, or the fear of missing out. And I think obviously that does tend to increase those feelings of loneliness. But sometimes what we also need to just be aware of with it when it comes to social media is push notifications.
Woods says there are ways for individuals to pick up on signs of depression and anxiety and ways to support them.
If you notice a family member, a friend, or just an acquaintance who starts to withdraw or starts to almost isolate themselves, you can see their mood decreasing. The first point of call for me, I always say, is conversation. Check in with that person. Ask them, how are they doing? Oftentimes we don't ask, how are you? We might in passing go, oh, how are you? Good, cool, thanks, and continue. But we need to actually really just hone in on asking somebody, how are you doing? Are you okay? How are you coping? So that checking in terms of conversation is really, really important. And then if somebody is struggling, and let's say they say, I'm not okay, or let's say they say, I'm struggling, it's reminding them obviously of where they can get that support and just referring them to get support, to get that help. So they can phone, for example, the South African Depression Anxiety Group on one of the 24/7 numbers.
Lehlohonolo says after years of therapy and medication to help manage her depression, she now knows what to do to avoid being triggered, especially during the festive season.
For me, it's triggering, especially when it's busy. I can't be in busy places. I get overwhelmed. So I try to isolate myself. So I look at the timing. It's either I go early in the morning, and if it's a shopping center, it's either I go in the morning or I go in the afternoon, or I go with somebody if I feel overwhelmed.
She says the impact of social media on her mental health is both negative and positive.
It's a 50-50. It's like be a negative in a sense of like, okay, it's festive time, people are enjoying, and also when you're getting older or when you're seeing friends having a good time, it's like, oh, okay, fine. I wish I was having that. But the good side is that also seeing the positive things, like also like being mindful. So what I do for my December is a sense of like, I'm mindful of the things that I'm watching, right? So in a sense of like, maybe not in the morning, because maybe I might not feel, I'm not a morning person. So in the morning, I try to avoid my phone, just so that I can prepare myself on how my day is. So on social media, is a sense of like, okay, in the first thing, what is it that I watch? Is it if I see, or like even if it's social media, like influencers or certain friends that I see, like I want this but I'm not there, but I get to limit it. Like I'm not there for like an hour or so. I get to limit it, like watching it in intervals. Like if it's 30 minutes, oh okay, I saw what I need to. So that's the good side, and just be mindful of the things that I follow.
Other South Africans also shared their views on the impact of social media.
I think it can have a positive impact and can have a negative impact. The negative impact will be like on how people use it. It will depend on them. Like,
there are too many pressures, especially for the young girls. I feel also for the guys, but most especially, there's a lot of pressure for the young girls with social media and everything. Good or bad, but mostly bad.
I think social media is good. However, I think people might abuse it. If they will use it for more productive things, like maybe if you get, there's a lot of information that you can get from social media.
The South African Depression and Anxiety Group urges those who may need extra help during the holidays to utilize their mental health resources, hotlines, or support groups for help.
It is the holiday season, and you probably are looking for those holiday gifts, especially for kids. Well, we have some educational technology ideas for you.
It is that time of year again where we give you ideas on some cool tech gifts
for your loved ones this season.
This Mix and Learn DJ table not only has cool music sounds, but also teaches babies different colors, numbers, and alphabets. Still on groovy melodies, next we have this ball called the Oddball that makes beats when connected to this mobile application. Other toys that are mobile app enabled are these Rubik's Cubes, the Go Cube, and Rubik's Connected. The app mirrors the physical Rubik's Cube as well as gives tutorials on the different games that can be played.
And then this is a Pokemon Mega anime, very popular anime children's show. Pokemon released a Lego, like it's like a building, and it also has motion effect. So you can scan it, and then once you're done building the Pikachu, then Pikachu will move. Very interesting. Also very digitally enabled, and the only way for Pikachu to move is by you scanning.
A potential favorite for board game and game night lovers is the Pictionary Air. The digital version of the famous board game allows players to draw clues in the air and they appear on a screen. Obviously, to play, one needs to download the Pictionary Air app on a mobile device like this Samsung Galaxy tablet that also makes for a cool take gift.
SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram, News Network at sabc.co.za on email. After the break, we tell you a bit about transportation. We also have some more tech solutions. It's SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. Welcome back. Now, Go Durban hasn't launched. This was supposed to be the city's bus rapid transit system here in eThekwini. But it hasn't launched. And the last time that Mayor Olisi Kaunda spoke about it, he said it would be launched in October. He said this in about May 2023. Now, in order for smart cities to properly be launched in South Africa, you need public transport system that works properly. And in other cities around the world where they've become really smart, people are using tap systems where there are apps on their devices so they can catch public transport, such as Go Durban when it eventually launches, and they can even catch trains as well. All over the world, all cities are upgrading their infrastructure so they can be smart cities or cities of the future. When the concept of smart cities has been discussed in South Africa, it's almost as if new cities have to be built. Remember talk of a smart city in Lenseria? All-round internet connectivity is an important part of a smart city. That means Wi-Fi all the time and everywhere, including in public transport. Smooth connected transportation is an important part of a smart city. So we tested this in Durban. Here, the bus rapid transit system called Go Durban never launched. There are bus stops like this one that are sitting dormant, unutilized, suggesting that there's a long way to go before the public transport element of a smart city can launch in Durban. The public here says transport is often late.
So people are battling, going to town, going to Mhlanga. Other one is late of work.
Ungabi khona kwebhasi uba yitarget ngoba estopini basuke besambalwa abantu ngalezo ikhathi. So kugcina ku-end up umuntu esebanjwe inkunzi ngenxa yokuthi ulindile ibhasi akanalo ulwazi lokuthi alise.
This bus company says they fix some of the buses for the municipality, and it's because of the damages that would make them late sometimes, but they too have run into some problems which leads to them not being able to fix the buses as they should. Lately, there's been a lot of talk about South Africa's rail infrastructure, which can't even move cargo from the harbour in Durban anymore, which leads to an oversupply of trucks on South Africa's highways. Elsewhere in the world, in Germany, they're testing robots that are learning how to collect rubbish. Some are electric vehicles.
Bedeutet aber auch automatische Buchungsvorgänge, wie beispielsweise den Papierkorb zu entleeren, was über einen Sensor dann detektiert wird. Der Bot würde automatisch kommen, den Papierkorb entleeren und in dem Moment würde der Papierkorb auch Geld bezahlen für seine Entleerung.
Despite being stalled, Epodwe says they're going ahead with their assimilators for training drivers.
This is your wiper switch. Your gear lever, you got 5-speed. It's a normal H pattern with a 5th gear up there. The simulators can give all different scenarios. Anything from driving in the city, driving on a mountain road, driving on a freeway, you get a blowout. You get people running across the road in front of you. People suddenly swerve in front of you, so it keeps you awake and keeps you alert.
It does really create a good awareness for drivers, and also you don't find driving schools teaching students at night. So with the scenario with the night driving, it creates a better awareness for the drivers and also the safety of people on the road.
South Africa has a high crime rate, with townships outside Durban having some of the worst rates. Lessons to improve this could lie in Dubai. They're using AI nowadays to fight crime in their smart city project.
How did we find the idea? The amount of data that we have in our system. So we were like, why don't we use it in a way that will help us? Like, we have all this data stored, so maybe we can predict the crimes. So through a specific algorithms and calculations, the prediction system worked.
If cities like Durban are to be smart cities, they need to prioritize smart crime fighting methods, Wi-Fi, public transport, and install tech for the use of things in general. The Women in Tech Awards recently took place, and they recognize some of those women who are doing great things in the world of technology.
The Women in Tech Awards is a very strategic initiative that helps us to close this gender diversity gap. It provides visibility of women. It provides opportunity to be role models to inspire other women to acquire jobs in technology. It also is a great networking tool where women can socialize with each other and learn from each other and grow from each other. And then also it's an opportunity for women to become advocates and highlight this gender diversity dilemma that we're still in this day and age, which we should not be in, and help to close that gap by acquiring more allyships, acquiring more support, and also inspiring women to actually step up into their careers as women in technology.
I am the founder and CEO of Africa Teen Geeks, a non-profit company that works in the technology space. We introduce young children to coding and innovation and entrepreneurship. I'm also the founder of a tech company called Epoditis, where we focus on helping companies with their digital transformation strategy. The category looks at the most impactful initiatives, and in terms of the impact of Africa Teen Geeks, I think it's really been a blessing to see how we have been able to impact as many people, not just in South Africa but all over Africa. And we are also the organization that helped the Department of Basic Education to develop the coding and robotics curriculum. So we helped them in terms of the development part of it. The department didn't pay a cent. We went out and looked for money to help them to basically create the curriculum.
We invented digital X-ray glasses. So basically they are a pair of glasses that can take an X-ray scan. So we opened a company called Twin X Innovation, where we'll be producing the X-ray glasses.
So our category was aspiring teens, and we were competing with other teenagers who are doing innovative projects, and they do incredible things. And yeah, I guess we were the best, so that's why we won.
The recent Africa Awards that was hosted by the Women in Tech Forum was an amazing, empowering event. What we did was we had various categories of awards where we acknowledged women in different fields. For example, biggest innovation, biggest AI innovation, biggest ally. There were about 6 different awards. And so a number of women was nominated for these awards, and we announced the final winners. And these winners were across Africa. And what that does is that it elevates the visibility of female successful role models in technology. At the awards we had males, females, we had representatives of different organizations and different countries. And it was also marketed in a very strategic way, again elevating the visibility, helping to co-create this advocacy, helping to aspire women to become the role models that they see in these awards.
SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. Let's take a quick break. SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
Alphabet introduced its most advanced artificial intelligence model last week. This is a technology capable of crunching different forms of information such as video, audio, and text.
7 years into our journey as an AI-first company, we are at an exciting inflection point. We have an opportunity to make AI even more helpful for people, for businesses, for communities, for everyone. We've been applying AI to make our products radically more helpful for a while.
Called Gemini, the Google owner's highly anticipated AI model is, according to the company, capable of more sophisticated reasoning and understanding information with a greater degree of nuance than Google's prior technology. Still on AI. OpenAI's viral chatbot ChatGPT launched on November 30th, 2022. In the past year, its uncannily human-like responses have taken the world by storm. While it has answered millions of user prompts, its growing influence has also sparked serious inquiries into a movement against the role of AI in society. It's a conversation that also played out in a tumultuous boardroom battle that saw the sudden exit and return of CEO Sam Altman. And now in Hong Kong. This is a colorful shifting fabric developed by a research team that has developed a color-changing textile embedded with a tiny camera and making use of artificial intelligence to create intelligent textiles.
So the POFs are actually transmitters of light. So light travels from one point to the other. So with the light traveling from one point to the other, the usual POFs, you'll find that light is only emitted at the tips. But for us, we actually do a surface treatment so that the light actually also travels through the lateral side of the fabric.
AID Lab hopes that the technology will one day be commercialized. It's currently on display in installations at shopping malls and other locations in Hong Kong.
A couple of days ago, President Cyril Ramaphosa mentioned a presidential PhD fund. He said this is to help in research, especially in technology fields in South Africa. This week, our Expo is asking if this fund is really necessary. And that's it. That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email from me, Spumela Lezondi, and the rest of the network team. Have a good one. Bye-bye.